Okay. All right. Welcome to another Sunday Night Live. How's everybody doing out there? Um, hey, great topic today. Last week we talked about inflammation, and you guys had some great questions as well as comments. And love the. I hope you found it helpful. So today we thought we'd continue on with inflammation, but talk about everything in your house that is affecting you. And so Dr. Ron is not feeling well. He was going to join me tonight on this episode, but he left me a message. It does not sound great either. So probably in bed. He may or may not jump into the live stream. So hopefully we'll see him at some point. So if you're jumping in here, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button for me. And if please share this out. Hey, I'm only 10 subscribers away from 1,100. Okay, so just looking forward to your support and helping me just continue to grow. So, hey, Bill, nice to see you in here. Yeah, glad you are here. I hope we answered your questions last week with regards to neuropathy. So let me know if we answered those questions. But I think today, everything that I talk about today it also can relate to neuropathy because these are going to be common household things that we're talking about. Hey, Julie, how are you? Nice to see you in here. Julie's a hairdresser, so a lot of chemicals going on in the hairdressing world. And listen, I'll preface it by saying I'm going to be at my hairdresser on Wednesday having my gray covered up. So I will be putting a lot of toxins on my head. I will be detoxifying my body when I do it. So I have to pick and choose my battles at this point. Hey, Laura, nice to see you. Thanks for joining in here. All right. Hit that thumbs up button. We got 5 in here. And where is everybody tonight? Is there like a basketball game on or something? We had Oakland University. We were rooting for Oakland, tiny college here in Michigan. And I was really hoping they would go a long way, but they lost last night. So all right, so we can go ahead and start getting into it. So the reason that talking about household products is so important is because we do things in our homes that it's just what we do, right? It's easy to think, it's easy to look and see a factory and see smoke billowing out, see pollution in the air, and we go, wow, that's terrible. But the things that you do in your daily life, you don't even know how much it's affecting you. And you have to start to recognize that each thing builds up upon the next. So I always say the poison is in the dose. You can say, oh, well, the fluoride in the water is only, X number of million parts per million, however they measure that. Um, However, then you add all of the other things as well. So, yeah, so Julie actually sells natural, non-toxic household products. So, and I have a lot of her items. So, I truly believe in, oh, my audio is choppy. Hold on. Testing, testing. Are you sure? Is it me or you, Laura? Rest of you guys hear me okay? Hey, Kenny, nice to see you. Can you guys hear me? Laura is saying my audio is choppy. Better, worse? No different? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up there. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I don't want to go on too much longer if my audio is not great. Everything looks okay over here. The audio is a little off. Well, dang it. I don't know. You're a little off, Kenny. No, I love you, Kenny. I don't know what to do. Like, there's nothing different about my setup. It's always the same. Same, no change. Um, okay, hold on. Hold on. Let's just check some settings before we continue on. Oh, is it this one? Rodecaster Pro Stereo. I don't know. Did that do anything? Testing, testing. Is that better? Testing, testing, testing. I just chose a different option. You guys hear me better now? I did reboot the system yesterday, so it may have automatically jumped into under a different. See over here. Uh, mic, testing, testing. Um, okay, more than a little off. Me, yeah. All right. Can you help me out here? Can you give me a how do I sound now? Better, worse, no different? I'm trying. I don't want to keep jumping around settings if this is the one that it's supposed to be. Um, we never. Let's see. Julie says we never think not to look. Okay, it's a little better or a lot better. Okay, I sound delicious. Wow, thank you very much. Um, okay, sounds good. Okay, great, perfect. I think I just need to do the setting. Okay, Julie says we never think, not look at the back of products when they say it's harmful to humans and animals. Yeah, it has a skull and crossbones on it. It's probably not good for you. Good. Okay, Bill says the audio is a little bit better. Um, great. Okay, appreciate that. Good to know. I got to see what setting I was on over here. Okay. Yeah, it had defaulted me, I think, when it rebooted. So, all right, great. Thanks for letting me know. I think I think it was last year sometime, and I went through the whole darn show, and then it was only at the end that all y'all jumped in and said that my audio was off. So, thanks for telling me at the very beginning. I appreciate that. Um, yeah. So one of the things is, you know. Uh, Especially when you're utilizing let's just talk about body care products. We'll start there. We'll start in the bathroom, and then we'll work our way out in the house. And, so the average woman, um, every day before she even leaves the house, exposes herself to about 170-ish chemicals. And that is, from makeup to perfume to lotion to soaps, other body care products, toothpaste. But then in general, so that's just on average for every woman. But then in general, every single day, every single one of us is exposed to over 700,000 chemicals. This information comes from uh, so part of the information, 168 chemicals for women, that comes from the National Institute of Health. And then the Environmental Working Group, they keep a pretty close eye on how many chemicals we're exposed to in a day. That is from, again, all of these toxic products that start off. So actually, let's go. Let's go. I know Kenny's going to go crazy when I say this. Okay, let's go into the bedroom. So we start there. We sleep on sheets and in pajamas that we've washed with toxic chemicals. So Tide and other toxic cleaning products, laundry detergents. Dryer sheets are probably the absolute worst. They have let me see if I pulled up a list of chemicals in the dryer sheets. Um, Dryer sheets contain benzyl acetate, ethanol, and chloroform. There you go. Possibly linked to Alzheimer's, central nervous disorders, nervous system disorders, and multiple sclerosis. And so the excuse me, the alternate to fabric softener dryer sheets would be like we don't use anything in the dryer, but I do have that you can get these wool dryer balls and put like essential oils on them. I used to use them, and then the dog would take off with them. So I stopped buying them because I couldn't get the dog to not take them. So we don't we just don't use anything in the dryer. So you're sleeping in your sheets, you're breathing that in all night. Your mattress could be also off-gassing formaldehyde, other chemicals. So oftentimes when people ask me about um, mattresses, what's a good mattress? I tell them, which mattresses is a whole nother conversation. But you have to look and find a mattress that is it's called Certipure or higher, and those are certifications that these textiles have had to go through to make sure that they don't have formaldehyde, they don't have, they're not utilizing petroleum products in them that are gonna off gas and make you sick at night. So, a lot of times people, they get sick from their bed and your pillows. So you can start to see automatically how the exposure, your bed is you're in a cocoon of chemicals all night long. So you start to think about, wow, that's some pretty serious exposure. So Bill had asked the question last week with regards to um, Kenny. I knew you'd like that one, Kenny. So Hannah's making food. Go ahead. Program. Go ahead. We're just gonna let her go. I do. She's making me a sandwich. Um, so, see, Kenny, the average woman before she leaves the house changes her mind an average of 3 times regarding the outfit. That's true. That is true. Um, so, so think about that. You're sleeping. You're in a cocoon of chemicals. If you're using traditional laundry soap, dryer sheets. Um, if you don't even know where your mattress came from, you don't know about your pillows. So pillows, I often look for the Certipure certification on pillows as well, because you don't want to be breathing that stuff in all night long. And that can affect things like neuropathy, because so it affects the nervous system. It can affect your overall sleep. It can affect your hormones. They are hormone disruptors. So they can cause, estrogenic diseases, cancers, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. It's going to affect your brain at some point. So then you wake up in the morning and you go into the bathroom. We brush our teeth, and you're probably using fluoride toothpaste, or it has some other chemicals in there. We haven't used fluoride toothpaste in I don't even know how many years. It's been since before I had Hannah, so probably 20, 30 years. So, and then your toilet paper also has toxic chemicals in it. Um, I do kind of pick and choose because I have one particular toilet paper that I like. It's low on the chemical scale. It's the Kirkland, which oddly enough, it's the Kirkland. It's their brand, so I can't remember. But they actually was tested, and I did a video on that several months ago. I think it was last summer sometime. And so it was tested, and it didn't have all the chemicals in it. So that's the app. Then you get in the shower, shampoo, conditioner, soap, right? Um, then shaving cream. Um, yeah, then you get out of the shower, and then you wipe yourself down with your towel that you washed with your Tide, and then you put lotion on, and that lotion probably has chemicals in it, and then the makeup, and then perfume, and then, off you go. So many things. You can see just how just that snapshot alone from sleep to your morning routine, the exposure that you have. So I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna read some comments, but if you have any questions with regards just to that layer, because it gets and I'm probably gonna overwhelm you as I start to go through this because I really want to impress upon you the level of exposure that you have over the course of the day. But then at the end of it, I'm going to give you some options. So I'm going to give you some actionable items. So as we start to go through all the things in the day, you're probably going to be like, "Holy crap. What I'm just going to go back to my toxic bed and pull the covers over my head and I'm going to stay there for a little while." So so I do want to give you actionable items, but I have to get you to really understand what is going on in our world and in our environment. And yeah, so Julie, there's been studies shown that over 200 chemicals are found cord blood for newborns. This scares a lot of women. They often don't want to breastfeed because they that they're too toxic to nurse their babies. I would absolutely make sure that you continue to nurse your babies. You know, don't let that don't let that stop you. Women still need to nurse, but this is how this bioamplification of all of the things that we're exposed to is just crazy. Um, and yes, dryer sheets. I know you have, yeah. And okay, so use them for deer repellent. That's totally fine. But also understand that when you breathe it, if you smell it and you're touching it, it is getting on you. But if it repels the deer, let them go too. So, um, and let's see. Kenny, you said you know a few things. Oh, yeah, about the average woman changing clothes, right? Hi, Grammy Karen. Nice to see you in here. And yeah, I appreciate it. This is such a huge topic. Shawnee, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Um, yeah, yeah, great point, Grammy Karen. So, absolutely. So when you think about all the textiles. So, not just the wood, but let's say you redo your kitchen and your cabinetry, the floors, carpeting, paint, all of that has, what are called, volatile organic compounds or VOCs, and all that off-gassing, you start to breathe it in, and then that starts to create problems for you. So, AP squared, how are you? Um, Shawnee says, knowing where to go with with substitutions in category was overwhelming for me, but I've chiseled away at each soap, hair product, cleaner, deodorant, toothpaste, laundry, and skin. So this is a really good point. So this is what I'm saying is that it's overwhelming as I go through and I explain it all to you, just as Shawnee experienced. It's overwhelm. So try just really like go, okay, where can I start? And I'll help guide you where to start. And your starting line might be different than somebody else's, but I'm just going to give you where I think you could start the easiest places. And Johnny says, once you've detoxified your home, you'll have heightened senses around it on others. It will, oh, absolutely. I mean, I agree with you. Like, scents, perfumes, and I love pretty smelling things, right? So, I do have one perfume that I use occasionally. It's mostly essential oil, probably a little chemical something in there, but then mostly I'll use like essential oil roll-ons for because we all like to smell pretty. I use all natural deodorant. Deodorant is probably another really common place that we get toxic chemicals from. So, there's aluminum, there's all kinds of chemicals in there. I use just it's called Native, and it's made with baking soda and arrowroot and coconut oil. So, and some other things, essential oils in there. So, yeah, but you do start to, it's like when people say they quit smoking, they suddenly get heightened sense of smell, heightened sense of taste. So when you get rid of the things, you start to realize that you're now on high alert, right? You just become really hypersensitive to those things too. You can't be around them. Yes, floor mats, curtains, and think about okay, is it I forget what the rubber floor mats are, which I love because we're in Michigan and salt, snow, and all of that. But again, it's rubber. It's off-gassing, right? It has VOCs. A WeatherTech, thank you. But yeah, you get the VOCs there. And then how about your new car? And these things don't stop off-gassing. They will off-gas more when they're new, but there's still these VOCs continue to be in the air. Um, your I'll just one of the things that lives with you all the time if you've ever had a filling, that if you have mercury amalgams, even if you have other, um, compounds in there, I would definitely I had Dr. Sue Shoha on here a few weeks ago. I think maybe I should bring her back on to talk about fillings and what that's actually doing and how that affects the nervous system. I think that would be a great topic if you're interested in that, more oral health. I know I love the, idea of teaching oral health because it's such a critical component to good health. So, if you like that, give me a thumbs up. Grammy Karen says, an herbologist that I knew said we spend so much money making our houses airtight and we're hurting our health in doing so. It's so interesting you said that, so here in Michigan a few weeks ago, we had some really warm weather. It was beautiful. And the the news, I always have to preface this and say, turn the news on to listen to the weather and then hear about all the insane things that you guys are hearing so that then I can help manage the insane messages that you're hearing. So one of the insane messages that I heard was in the health portion of the broadcast. They said, "Now it's really nice outside, and you're going to be really tempted to want to open your windows, but there's a lot of the molds are high, so you just need to keep everything airtight." And I'm like, "Oh my god." Open the windows, get the airflow. Why do you think we're so sick during the winter? We're not getting fresh air. Bill works outside year round, so he's definitely getting his fair share fresh air. So yeah, I mean, we've got to make sure we are getting airflow. I'm the girl that in the summertime, if you come into my house during the day, my air conditioning's off. It's going to be warm. All my doors and windows are open. I don't care how hot it is outside because I want the airflow. And then I'll turn my air conditioning on at night. So air purifier techniques would help, whether it's a HEPA filter, it's HEPA. What and where to put plants, etc. So if you don't have plants, put plants in your house. Plants are probably the best air that you can have, and then getting a good high quality air filter. I have so my house had mold and I mean I had a sick house, right? So that's the other thing. You know what's in your house. So even beyond the textiles of your house, do you have mold? Do you have is there dust? Um, there's an old church across the street from my office, and I remember I wanted to buy it. I wanted to move my office over there. Um, and it's so cute. It's right in the heart of town. It's such character and charm. It's one of the oldest buildings in our town, and so I went with the owner of the building. I went over there and took a tour. I was in there for about 10, 15 minutes, and I was in there about 10 minutes, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm getting a scratchy throat." 'Cause I lived in this house for 15 years before I figured out I had mold. So, you guys, I've been detoxing for years. I've been really working on my gut health, my liver health, my overall body health to try to make sure that I filter and flush my exposure out. I'm still not 100%. I still like, I wanna cough right now. It sits right here on me, like, all day long. See, just the it's like, the power of suggestion. I cough every morning. If you were here in my house in the morning and you heard me coughing, you'd probably tell me to put down my Marlboros. That is something I haven't been able to get rid of, and I work really hard at it, and I'm really aware. So I'm super sensitive to when I'm in a moldy environment. So I'm in the building and I'm walking around, I'm like, "Wow, this would be great," and all I'm thinking of is, "This needs some mold remediation." So he says, "Come on down to the basement. Let me show you the basement." I go, "Okay." So we go into the basement and he's got carpets. It's a dirt floor, and he's got carpets all over the place. So you can only imagine the well, as I started descending the stairs, I was like, "Whoa," and I could feel the pain in my head start to increase. I could feel the mucus starting to build. I could feel my throat getting scratchy and, like, a little bit of a constriction in here. I wasn't gonna go into anaphylaxis or anything, but it was really uncomfortable, and I just said, "You know what? I gotta get out of here." And I had to leave, and I was sick for a day. I mean, that's how and I was in that building probably is it 15, no longer than 20 minutes. So I was already living in this environment in a very low level mold. Doesn't have to be the dangerous kind. I didn't have the dangerous kind. I just had a lot of the regular mold in really high amounts. It was in my crawl space, so I didn't know. So then when I figured it out and I started to clean everything up, I was like, wow. I mean, it just so anyway, that's to say, going back to air purifiers, I got a whole new HVAC system and I put in a filtration system, an air filtration unit in my furnace, my HVAC, and it is the kind of, filtration system they put in surgical units. So, it takes out flu viruses, it takes out mold from the air. So, I spent a chunk of change on my air filter. I made sure that my air quality was going to be as top notch as it needed to. So, you know, quality is so important. Now, if you put an air filter in, um, what are we washing our dishes with? Dawn dish soap, all the things. We use all natural stuff that are biodegradable. Um, so yeah, yeah, there you go. Yeah. HIPAA stands for how I know HIPAA all too well. Um, so if you have an air filter, so like, okay, so I spend, I think it was like $11,000 for my whole HVAC system because of that. But now if I put Glade plugins, if I'm using, and my most of my makeup is natural, meaning like, toxin free and all that stuff. So, I try to utilize as few chemicals on my face, my body, my soaps, my lotions, they're all coconut based. So that's all natural. But then candles, Glade plugins, air fresheners of any kind. They smell pretty. Perfumes, dyes. Think of all the things that smell really good that aren't essential oils. So now, if I had all of that stuff going on, it wouldn't matter that I spent 12 grand on an HVAC system that filtered flu viruses out of the air because I'm just putting junk back in. So think about what are you putting into your environment. So these are all things that we can control. Again, it's the overwhelm. We haven't even left we barely left the bathroom, okay? So then we come into, let's see, okay, so we're walking out of the bathroom, we come in the kitchen. Yes, Shawnee, you're right. What do we wash our dishes in? So that's another thing. So, is it biodegradable? Is it coconut based? And then, lace out your air fresheners, then you get into your toxic car, then you go to your business. Now, my business is in a building, it's the second oldest building in my town. The basement is really musty. I don't smell it up in the main area. So I do have a dehumidifier in the basement. It's a, you can, it's like you can see the moisture dripping down the walls. Um, so, hey, Uncle Al, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Um, so, yes, thank you. It does help with the live stream. Hit the thumbs up button. I appreciate it very much. Um, yeah, okay, yeah, there you go. Okay, so fresh baked cookies, way better than a fresh baked cookie candle, all right? So, all of that stuff, you have to start clearing that out. All right, did we get everything? Um, okay, we didn't. Hold on. So, cleaning products, we have to go there too. So we talked about your dish soap, but then, what are you using to, like, clean your counters with? Do you use bleach? Do you use, chemicals, any kind of chemical spray? Your toilet bowl cleaner, um, uh, glass cleaner. I mean, anything you're using to clean your house is potentially toxic. Uh, Last year, I did a couple of different videos, and they're on my YouTube channel, and I talked specifically about how to what to clean your house with, and I can't remember what the name of them is. If anybody wants to jump over into, into my library if you can grab that. Um, but the only things that I use to clean everything in my house, I buy the big bags of, Arm& and Hammer from, Costco, so either baking soda, I keep that here, I use that at the office. I use, white vinegar. I buy those big spray bottles from Home Depot. So a little bit of white vinegar, the rest water, essential oil. I clean my floors, I clean my windows, I clean my counters, I clean the, toilets, I put baking soda in the toilet bowl, um, and and then I just use that for the rest of it. Lemon juice, it's all you need. You do not need to spend money on cleaning products. And, and I gotta tell you, a lot of that stuff works for, like, bugs too, like, in the springtime, when you start to see ants, and you can start to my mom would just keep a bottle of soapy water with lemon juice in it, and she'd spray it around the perimeter when she would see ants in the springtime. Great way to get rid of the diatomaceous earth is another really great way to, help with bugs. So, we start seeing the ants coming in. So you can get the food grade diatomaceous earth because then you can actually use that, put that, like, in your shakes or, sometimes we put it in the dog's food because it's a chelator and it'll help to kill also, um, um if there's any larvae, like, from mosquitoes or anything like that. So, a really excellent way to deal with parasites is using diatomaceous earth. And like I say, you can use it externally and you can use it internally. And white vinegar is great, and you can use it in varying concentrations. Again, I buy the giant thing is like a gallon and a half, and I keep one here and I keep one at the office. So, we don't clean with toxic chemicals. And, yeah, there you go. So Kenny says, "I have a spray bottle with white vinegar I use for bathrooms and kitchen." And you can dilute that. If you're using it straight away, it's it's pretty strong. So that way, a little goes a long way. So, um, yeah, yeah, you just bought a bag of diatomaceous earth. So what are you gonna use it for, Shawnee? Curious. Are you gonna use it, externally? I use it in my garden for pests, works really well for, like, slugs. It does help with the cabbage moths, but this year, if you're not out there just continually reapplying, um, then, uh, they're gonna get you. Yeah, so I do plan on covering it. I have gnats in my indoor okay. Oh, that's interesting, yeah, so I'm just wondering, um, now a little bit of red wine in a glass, and they'll go straight they are the biggest winos, those gnats, so that's another way, or in a bottle, just put a little bit of red wine in a wine bottle, and, they'll dive in there too, so, so so Kenny says, "I was today years old when I learned the word diatomaceous." So what it is it's ground fossil shell flour, and it actually, it feels like flour, like, that you would bake with, so it's soft like that. But if like a slug or a bug walks over it, it, like, shreds them, like, it's so, destroys them, um, because it's like ground glass, if you will, for them. Um, so it is safe to ingest, for humans, like the dogs, when you're dealing with the fleas or any of the larvae like that, really good to, make sure that you, give it to the dogs. But long term, you just have to be careful because it's kinda like, the bentonite clay. Bentonite clay is a great regulator also, which means it'll bind with those toxins, but you can't don't take it with your nutrients, your supplements, and don't take it long term because it'll start to bind with, nutrients that your body needs to absorb. So, there's certain protocols if you have parasites to be able to utilize those things. If you're heavy metal, if you're toxic with heavy metals, we'll use bentonite clay, the diatomaceous earth if we need to. Um, yeah, so Shawnee says, "I've used it on the dog before for fleas." Yeah, great. The other thing that works great for fleas is, borax, and that's kind of a cousin to Um, uh, my gosh, drawing a blank. Baking soda. Yeah. So I had to use that. I one time was infested with fleas with my first golden retriever, and it was the only thing that worked. I was like, "Oh my god," and I freaked out, and I went out, I bombed the house with toxic chemicals 3 times. I put flea stuff on the dog, none of it worked, and then I used borax. 6 weeks later, everything was fine. It took 6 weeks, but, um but it worked. So and the chemicals didn't, right? They just become super bugs. So, yeah, don't breathe in the fine powder for sure. Yeah, no, diatomaceous earth it's a really cool, it's a really cool, product. So Prepper 101, I use that same cage behind you and take my mother-in-law to the oh my god. I should read these before I put them up. Goodness gracious. Okay. Um, yeah, borax on the perimeter of the house, and, uh, and it works beautifully. There's a company called Flea Busters, and they do something to the borax, and, so I ended up buying the borax from them because, at that point, I was like, "Okay, I'm not just using straight borax, I don't know what else they put in it," but it was all natural, did not, was not toxic to anybody, so, um, the freezer's not shut. Okay. Um, okay, so cleaning products. So then the other one that I really want to address from a toxicity perspective is our I have Orif, are you still am I still choppy? Or is that just maybe it is you, Orif? Um, yeah. I hope the audio is good. Um, so now we're dealing with bug sprays. Um, and then weed killers and all of those toxic chemicals. Think about, um, I am popping? What is going on? I don't I don't know. I'm gonna have to reboot everything again. If I reboot everything now, you won't see me for 20 minutes. This computer takes forever. Um, but I hope you can hear me okay, and I'll redo this one. This is a pretty important topic, so, um spreading salt. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my mom would spread salt as well. Um, just all natural stuff. So, yeah. Bill says, "I uh, hope your mother-in-law is not in this broadcast." Hey, Idaho Garden Girl, nice to see you here. Um, wow, so here, let me do this. Turn my volume up. Is that better? Is that worse? It's better? Worse? What do we have there? Testing, testing. I just turned the volume up on my mic. Anything? Bueller? 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 Better? Okay. Idaho Garden Girl says she can hear me just fine. I'm fine. Restart says happy Mac. Okay. Um, nope, no better. P squared says. Hmm. I don't know why some of you on a level of 1 to 10, audio is probably a 3. However, on a hotness, we're still at a level 10. Perfect. Good. All right. That's what I like to hear. Okay, I don't you guys, I don't have an answer for you. Testing, testing. Let's see here. Echo cancellation, reduce mic background noise, automatically adjust mic volume. Sorry, I'm going back in here. Microphone. Let me try this one. Testing. Is that one better? There's all these different microphone settings in here. Okay, Bill says audio is fine. Is that better? Better? Testing, testing, testing. Okay. All right. Can you guys hear me now? No. No better? No, you can't hear me. Okay, hold on. Testing, testing. We're gonna go back up here. Okay, there. That one. There we go. Yes, yes. Oh, whatever I did was working better. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I went to that one. Testing, testing, testing. Yes. Don't move. Okay, don't move. All right, better, better, Bueller, better, better. No, yes, good. Thumbs up. We good? No, yes. Okay. All right. Um, okay. Let me see. Let me get back to your comments here. Okay. Yeah, I can't restart because, like I said, it'll take too long. We'll live. Okay. All right. I'm all good. Don't move. Great. Thumbs up. Okay, perfect. All right. So here's what you have to remember when you start using chemicals. So let's talk about Roundup for a minute. So Roundup, you guys are oh, hey Michelle. All right. That's my girl Michelle. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna see Michelle. When are we gonna see each other? At the end of May. We're going down to Florida for our friend's 50th birthday party. Super excited. Thanks for being here, girl. Nice to see you. Um, so one of the things when you're dealing with chemicals around your house is you have to remember that these chemicals they do have a warning label on them. So Julie said earlier in the chat that you don't turn it over and look at the warning label. It's making a sandwich. Hey, we got 18 people in here. You guys, that's awesome. Thanks so much. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button for me and share this out. I appreciate it very much. So it comes with a warning label. It's designed to be utilized in a certain way. If you think about when farmers are spreading chemicals on their crops, they they are they're using hazmat suits. They're all they have gloves on, they have, um, um, masks on. But when you're using this around your house and you're just spraying this, you're breathing in all that aerosol. Glyphosate or Roundup, it does not leave. It is the worst forever chemical, one of the worst. I mean, it's pretty bad. So it's bad. I mean, when I say one of the worst, I mean, like, it's the worst, and then there's probably some other ones up there with it. So Roundup that's one of the chemicals that's found in cordwood of women. It stays in the soil. It does not go away. It's called a forever chemical. I just tested a little boy, he's 4 years old. Um, he's about, if you're supposed to have 0 glyphosate, he's about 80%. So this little boy is glyphosate toxic. His mom's like, "How can that be? We don't use any chemicals. There's nothing on our lawn." Um, they, um they grow their own chickens. They don't everything they eat is organic. So this is just a great, example at how even when you're trying to do all the right things, how these chemicals will find their way into your body. So, for the rest of you, this is where the wake up call is. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be happy. I want your nervous system to be really, really healthy. I want your brain to be able to think clearly. I want you to be able to sleep well at night. Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, these are all just really, really horrible diseases for people. And we epidemic of these brain and nervous diseases. So really important that you start paying attention to all of these things because they will affect your nervous system. Going back to Bill, because I want to circle it back because when Bill asked about neuropathy, then it's all the things, right? It's, that was a hard question just to answer one off, but it's all the things. So it's everything in your environment. It's exposure to molds. It's exposure to toxins. It's exposure to chemicals. I have, well, Dr. Erica, who you guys know, um, who I do chiropractic is sexy with. She grew up in an apple orchard, and she said they would come and spray the apples, and her dad would say, "Okay, go in the house and shut the windows." So they'd go in the house and they'd shut the windows, and when they were done spraying, then her dad was like, "Okay, go back outside and play." And she goes, and then we went back outside in our bare feet and ran around and played in the orchard. So, who knows? Who knows the level of exposure, right? So, they didn't know. I mean, hold on, Bentley's knocking at the door. So bubble baths can alter pH, um, and yeah, it depends on what you're using, right? So, um, you know, it if you are using again, if you're using like traditional bubble bath, there's um, what's the sodium lauryl sulfate, really common chemical in, body care products, soaps, lotions, shampoos. You wanna avoid anything that has sodium lauryl sulfate in it. So, um, Pepper 101 wants to start his own candy orchard. Wouldn't that be awesome? Then it'd be natural and organic. Candy apple orchard. Um, yeah, I think so, Bill, that's right, and in fact, I heard that they were so highly sprayed that even, like, the organic apples get some overspray on them. They don't really have true organic apple, right? Yeah, um it's being and then you're eating these sprayed crops when if you buy stuff from the store, you're eating those sprayed grapes. So or even if you buy things at the farmer's market and that farmer sprays, you're getting that. So that's like okay, so that's a whole I think we'll separate that piece of it is the food, the toxins in the food. We've had many of those conversations. I wanted this to mostly be focused on environmental things, which obviously toxins on our food are environmental, but we talk so much about food and, toxicity that really want you to start to recognize your pattern of chemical exposure in your daily life that, you don't even have to walk out of your house, and your house could be killing you. Um, so it took me 15 years, like I said, 15, 16 years to figure out that my house had mold. And part of it was because, so I had a crawl and I had dirt. And when I would go down, it smelled musty, but it wasn't like horrible, right? So then, I finally, and then what I would get I'd get like water dripping down my walls. There was so much moisture in my house. My clothes would mold. So, like, my winter clothes, I'd push to the back of the closet, pants and things like that, sweaters, and then I'd pull them out in the spring, and they were moldy. And there was, I remember one time seeing, um, like dampness, like condensation on the wall of my closet, and I'm like, "What is going on?" So I thought it was an issue with, insulation. So, had the house further insulated, which I didn't need to. I mean, this is also, like, as you go through the process, you're like, "Oh my gosh, who talked me into spending money on shit I didn't need?" The wall insulation was fine, probably maybe just needed the blown in the attic because that wasn't there. Um, I had mold so bad that when I moved into the house, I didn't know it was mold at the time. But I was like, "What's all this black stuff?" It was like vinyl windows, and the mold embedded itself in the vinyl windows. This is like how um, and then I had soot. So I had off-gassing puffbacks I had a boiler, so I had puffbacks, I had carbon monoxide, I mean, I'm like, we're literally lucky to be alive. And, I would have, like, these radiant black marks because I had baseboard heat at the time. You can see back there, there's one baseboard still. It doesn't work, but I painted it just, 'cause I didn't feel like re-drywalling. I was like, "Oh my god, that's somebody else's job for me to tear that off and then have them fix the drywall and put new molding on there." So, um, but, yeah, um, so I ended up encapsulating the crawl space, so putting the plastic, the vinyl down. Okay, so there's off-gassing of plastic, but I had to make a choice. I had to get rid of, I had the house tested. It was, the outside air for it was penicillium and, I forgot what the second one was. The outside air parts per million for those was like 200, and the crawl space was like 200,000. So that's when they aren't dangerous molds, like, it's not like Stachybotrys, like black mold, but it's mold, high exposures. So you have to start thinking about, and I ask my patients a lot about this, is that when they're sick and we can't get our arms around it, I ask them about their home environment, and they're like, "Oh," if they say, "Well, I live in a brand new house." Oh, there you go. There's a red flag. Hold on. There you go. Okay. So, yeah, it was pretty serious mold, and that's why it can be. It was serious mold, but it was such a slow, um, infusion, right? Or it's like, for me, it was like, I couldn't figure this thing out. Painted a couple of times because I was like, "Oh, I'll just paint over it, that'll fix it." Sure, that'll fix it. No, did not fix it. But it wasn't until I actually had the crawl space encapsulated that it did finally fix it. So now there's, like, no must smell. You go in the crawl, it, like, smells totally fine. I mean, it's just wall to wall, um, um, vapor barrier down there. So that was really helpful. Had to repaint again. But again, you spend that many years and it has affected my lungs. So I have to be really careful. I will know, yeah, if I'm in a moldy house, a moldy environment, I will immediately start to get a little low grade headache and my throat starts to kind of swell a little bit and get scratchy. Um, yeah, so, like, where do you guys land on that? And, are you in a new house? Are you in an old house? Are there's been newer homes too that have ended up getting mold in them because they had a leak somewhere or a breach in the foundation or something. Yes, I here in Foundation Systems of Michigan. They did a great job, and, yeah, and I said because of it, because of how quickly the air quality changed in the house for the better, um, I would never go if I went to a new house, that would probably be one of the first things that I would wanna do is make sure that the basement, if I moved onto a crawl, there's no way, like, encapsulate that and make sure that it's not gonna, cause issues. Um, so, alright, so we went through our whole day. Um, we're sleeping in a cocoon of chemicals, and then we get up and we're brushing our teeth. So some of the easy things that, I wanna, tell you about, they're just super simple. It's Kenny, my crawl space is quite beautiful, actually, and you can kind of walk a little bent over down there. It's quite spacious, and it's really pretty. I might say so. It's like so it's pleasant to go down there now because I have to go down and, turn the water on and off my hoses, if I change the filter or, have to wash the filters on the HVAC, every 2 or 3 months. So it's like it's not a huge adventure now to go down there and do that. So, um, yeah, I know I keep thinking, I'm like, "I can make a really good wine cellar." But it's also kinda warm down there too, so, because it's insulated now too. They put up like a 2-inch foam board all along the brick, and then they put the vapor barrier all across, so it's really nice. Maybe I'll take you guys down there sometime. I'd have to log on my phone and take you guys down there. I'll do a video or something because I think it's pretty important from an air quality perspective, so, um, okay, so, easiest places to start is, um, air fresheners. So, like you say, Glade plugins, air freshener sprays. You can do essential oil diffusers if you like, pretty smelling air. So we use a lot of essential oil diffusers. You can get essential oil sprays for air fresheners, and um, yeah, you don't have to crawl in my crawl space, just so you know. Probably probably about 4 feet tall, and it might be 3 feet as there's like a berm that they had to cover, so, yeah. Um, so get rid of air fresheners, and then, like, in your car, a lot of people put those little air fresheners in the car. Um, I had to drive my daughter's car one day last week, and I got in, I was driving to Birmingham, she had one of those air fresheners in her, which she knows better. Yeah. Anyway, it was on her, vent, and I had the heat going, and I didn't realize it was on there, and I was going to yoga. I had a 30-minute drive. By the time I got to yoga, I had a migraine. So, I'm really, really sensitive to that stuff, and I think it was really because of the fact that, um, I had the mold exposure. So now I'm more sensitive to other toxic chemicals. So, so be mindful of that. If you have migraines, if you have any kind of, like, brain fog, anxiety, depression, sleep issues, hormonal issues, any kind of chronic if you have, like, eczema, if you hive up or rash easily, uh, if get other kinds of headaches, gut issues are a big one because those molds will actually get into the gut and cause destruction of the gut microbiome, so you wanna be mindful of that. So no air fresheners, get rid of that. Um, Laundry detergent, one of the ones that I liked, I've used it for years, it's called Ecos, and you can get it Costco sells it in a big container, and it's a coconut-based, uh, laundry detergent. What I discovered about it, I've used it for so many years that my clothes now, they start to feel a little bit oily, so I'm like, "Geez." So now I'm looking up, like, I think what I might do is, like, take my clothes and maybe, stop! That's enough. Sorry, it's driving me nuts. Um, uh, if you mix, um, baking soda is it baking soda and peroxide? Or is it I think it's baking soda and peroxide or baking soda and white vinegar. I can't remember. I think it's baking soda and peroxide. It gets fizzy like an OxiClean, so it's a natural OxiClean. Um, so also with peroxide, make sure 'cause a lot of people will, like, use peroxide as a mouthwash. Do not use the regular stuff. You have to get food grade peroxide. There are so many chemicals in the actual, like, peroxide that you would buy, like, at Costco or something. So, um, you know, great to use if you have to, like, get stains out of clothes, but not great to use uh, if you're using it orally. So keep that in mind. Um, so anyway, but I would say try it. There's also a couple of other ones. There's 7th Generation, that's another good one. So I've just recently switched over to that one, and, just to make sure that trying to get this, it's basically like coconut oil in my clothes. So but like I said, I've been using it for, like, 20 years. So, hold on one second. Teenagers. Okay. Yeah, I would be sad to be allergic to coconut also, P squared. I love coconut. So good. Um, so come here. Get over here. Lay down. Lay down. Come on. Lay down. Stop. Um, coconut. Yeah. Battered and fried, Kenny. Battered and fried. Um, okay, so start with your air quality. The next thing is you can get toothpaste. I would probably start to swap out your toothpaste. Um, we don't need fluoride. This was a big drive by the dental lobbyists. It's amazing that they were able to get it in our water. There is no data to support using drinking fluoride, none. So, um, yes, seventh generation is another one um, that is good. The better ones. I also noticed I went into Meijer a couple weeks ago, and they now have a whole section of laundry detergents, natural dryer sheets. I don't know how natural they are. They seemed okay, but I still, like I say, I don't really need a dryer sheet. Um, and then, natural fabric softeners, but I think it depends on your water too. So if you need a fabric softener, I would definitely try to go for the more natural ones. So and the other thing too, one of my favorites is, yes, Ed Blanchard, Earth Paste mineral toothpaste. So Earth Paste is made by Redmond Sea Salt, and it's really, really good, toothpaste. Um, the only thing I don't like about it, Ed, and I don't know if you could concur on this, but their packaging is horrible. It's it's really and the packaging, when you get down to the bottom, like, you have to cut the tube open to get the rest of it out, and there's a lot left in there because it doesn't allow you to squeeze the rest of it out. So, um, yeah. So and then there's, Oromir herbal toothpaste. Okay, cool. I'll have to look at that one. The other one, it's hydroxyapatite. There's a couple of different brands, but hydroxyapatite toothpaste, and it actually helps to rebuild the enamel on the teeth, helps to make the teeth a little bit stronger. So that's another one to try. And you know what, Terry Crafty, thanks for being here, by the way. Yeah, so I did hear that, and that's what I was going to say earlier, is that not all of them are great. However, it's the it's the lesser of a lot of evils. So sometimes if that's your only option, you've gotta, you gotta make sure that you're, just doing your best, right? But yeah, I did hear about that, so really interesting. Um, and Simple Truth, again, kind of like I think that's kind of along the lines of seventh generation. Method is another one, but, is Method really Um, I think they're having some issues too, but these all err on the side of better, but not great. Um, then your body care products yeah, so Idaho Garden Girl, has hydroxyapatite toothpaste, so it's good stuff. Yep, bought it on Amazon. Um, so one of my favorite brands, it's coconut. I use coconut soap and use the coconut lotion. Um, boy, so sorry, P Square, that you can't. You can use like, for a lotion, you can use like olive oil, um, you know, uh, castor oil is excellent for the skin. There's also from you can do like natural bar soaps. There's some good natural bar soaps out there um, that are not coconut based. I mean, with like goat's milk. So there's definitely some options. But I would start just looking at those basics. Is what are you washing your body with? What do if you use lotions, what are you putting on your body? Make sure that those are are uh, clean. So No, not at all, Terry. That was actually a really great comment. So I appreciate you saying that because I thought that they were having some issues and I wasn't quite sure. So, but yeah, and again, it's like finding the lesser of all the evils, and but then that bums me out because I'm like, you're positioning yourself as somebody who has all natural products, and then yet you're gonna put chemicals in them. I I had this, conversation with a client about, working on his nutrition, and I have to get him on some specific, supplements, and he went to another company because there was a, might have been, like, one of the products that I sell, it was like citric acid or something like that. I don't know, say that citric acid, you couldn't have it. So he found it from another company, and he goes, "I think it's pretty good," and he wanted me to look at it, and God bless him, he's doing his research, and um, he says, "It's third party tested." I think I talked about this a few shows ago. He says, "It's third party tested," and I looked and I said, "Okay," I go, "but for what?" He goes, "Well, I don't know." And the site didn't tell you what they third party tested it for. And then, I see that they had, and it looked really good, right? Great window dressing. And then they used, Splenda, sucralose in one of the products, and I go, "That right there destroys all credibility." So when you have a company that's saying that they're trying to do good things for you, the human, and the planet and the environment, and then they put some chemicals in there. Now, I'm gonna say not all synthetic ingredients are bad, depends on which ones, and again, that's a scale as well, but, you have to start putting a question mark up, is, "Do I trust your whole company now?" You know? So, yeah, jojoba is really great, and castor oil also. So many anti-aging ingredients in those oils, so those are really, really good. Try to buy them not in plastic, and then, of course, that would be the other thing too, is are you drinking plastic water? I mean, I have people, they're like, "We never drink water from the tap, we only drink out of plastic water bottles," and I'm like, "Ugh," like, just so you just, like, traded one thing for the next, like, you're better off putting a filter on your tap, getting a stainless steel water bottle, and avoiding all the plastics in the plastic water bottles. So, um, Terry Crafty says, "Went to rent a house, weird stink. Yard had 2 sprayers of Roundup, asked about weed removal, was told tractor. Today I saw the Roundup, not renting, kids have asthma." Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, it's crazy. Well, and then, like, when I drive into the neighborhood and I can smell that they spray, one of the neighbors is having their yard sprayed, and you can't see them, like, I've seen it where they're on the whole other block, but I can smell it here in my house, like, that stuff is so airborne, so if you're using it also, and then, of course, like, you can't, control the airborne issue with your neighbors, so you have to control your own environment. So, yeah, jojoba and lotion for massage oil. What kind of lotion do you use? I know you probably have a good source for lotion, but yeah, the coconut-based lotion. It's called, the brand is like Alafia, and when I see it at Whole Foods, on sale, it's usually like 14 or 15 bucks for a big, thing. Here, I'll show you. It's everyday coconut. They changed the name of it. So it's like $14 for a huge thing, but they go on sale for like 10, 11 bucks, and then I buy like a half a dozen each. So this is the coconut body wash, and this scent is just purely coconut. I like the lavender. They used to have a verbena, which is kind of a lemon scented, and then this is the body lotion. And so this is all, it's all natural, sustainable, um, and yeah, it's all natural ingredients. So these are my favorite. I've been using these for years, and again, I stock up when I find them on sale because you can't get those online. Um, if you try to buy these on, I mean, you can get them online. You can get it on Amazon, but if you try to get it, uh, it's gonna be like, 15 bucks a thing. And, this is 32 ounces. So that's my favorite from a soap and a lotion perspective. So, um, Shawnee said, Idaho Garden Girl, my husband has to use castor oil on his hand where he was hurt in a car accident to help with the pain. Castor oil is so good for so many things. Yeah, it is amazing stuff. And, P squared, I don't know why they still sell Roundup. It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, people are so sick. I mean, let's just say it's probably all the money, right? Like, let's just follow the money. You probably couldn't take, um, uh, Roundup off the market without having a complete uprising of people, you know? I miss this one, Shawnee. Lake Lakota is an indigenous store that makes okay, let's look that up real quick. Lakota made. Natural oh, look at that, in Minnesota. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, Lakota made. Very cool. Women owned, okay. Here, I'll just drop this in here. It looks interesting. We're gonna take Shawnee's, endorsement right here. There you go. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. So, um, yeah, so there's just some simple places for you to start. Obviously, if you have mold in your house, you have to pay attention to it, but that's a bigger issue. I do recommend that everybody gets their homes tested. Um, make sure that and don't just go to Home Depot and buy those little test kits. They're I think it's like 50 bucks. Spend the 500 and have somebody to come out to your house and actually, like, take samples, so that you can make sure, because 'cause they'll take samples in all the different areas of your house. Hey, Maddie Garvia, nice to see you, young lady. So nice of you to stop by. You guys, hit that thumbs up button. We had, quite a good, turnout tonight, so appreciate if you hit the thumbs up button and, of course, share this out on the community page. Um so what do I recommend for essential oils? It's a multi question there. Um, there is, uh, one second, I'm gonna look this up. So I use essential oils from a multitude of different places. So because I make body butter, I make, you guys hit that thumbs up button. We only had 4 thumbs up, and at one point we had, I think, over 19 people in the house. So, back to my I can't get back to my live stream. Okay, here we go. Okay. So this company, I have no connection to them, but, I've made body care products for so many years that, I found, this one, Sunrose Aromatics. What I love about them, so sometimes I'll buy from Whole Foods, sometimes I'll buy from doTERRA, sometimes I'll buy from Young Living, so it depends on what I'm looking for. Now the I needed, like, bulk lavender for my, 'cause my body butter that I make is lavender vanilla, so I needed bulk lavender. Well, you can't buy lavender for what I needed. If you're trying to buy doTERRA or Young Living, you're gonna go broke, with those, and a lot of times what I find is that, when you're dealing with a multi-level marketing like that, you end up paying more for the product because then, the whole concept is, "But if you get people to sign up, and then you'll make money, and then you get your stuff for free." No, I just wanna buy a really good product for a fair price, and, they're really good products, but you can find them less expensive. I'll let the dog out again. Okay, um So I found this Sunrose Aromatics, and she sources essential oils from all over the world. I remember asking her about neroli, and if you know neroli, oh, neroli, it is like it smells like the beach, and it is just toxic. Comes from it's from orange blossom. Smells nothing like oranges. It is absolutely wonderfully intoxicating. They actually use neroli a lot in perfumery. So I reached out to her. She sent me 4 little sample vials of neroli to smell from all over the world, and each one had a little bit of a different, uniqueness to it in its scent. And she did that too with her lavender. She was like, "Oh, you gotta try" so she sent me, like, 4 different lavenders from all over the world. "Which one do you really want for your body care products?" Some are a little stronger, some are a little softer. So, I really liked her for that, and then you can buy more, bulk rate or, more bulk, um, from her as well. Is plant therapy a good brand? Let me look that up because I think I looked them up a while back. Uh, you know what? I don't know. So I can't speak to that one. There is another one, um, butter wholesale. Oh, no, it's World Sheet. Hold on a second. I think it's wholesale shea butter. Worldwide wholesale. Is this it? Yeah, Norfolk, Virginia. Okay. This is another place. So this is actually where I've bought my cocoa butter from them. I buy my shea butter from them. For any of you out there who make body care products, prices are great and their quality is amazing. So sheabutterwholesale.com, and they're out of Virginia. So that's another one that I recommend. They do have bulk essential oils. They have bulk fractionated coconut oil. Um, they've got a lot of really great stuff for making body care products. And then there's let's see, there's a couple of other ones. Hold on. Oh gosh, I can't think of them. There's like two companies that I use. Bulk. I think it's bulk warehouse. Warehouse. Bulk apothecary. This is another one. So I've ordered from them before, and these guys are good. So again, what I really love and appreciate about these places is that you can, that link is I give it a link. What I love about these places is that they are prices are good. Here we go. This is a better link. You can literally buy in bulk so that you're not breaking your bank. There we go. That one. That one there. So shea butter wholesale, bulk apothecary, and then this Sunrose Aromatics. And then, like I say, I have, I'll do like the roll-ons from like doTERRA. I have the neroli roll-on, which is really good. Hold on, Bentley's coming back. Goes outside just so he can come in and get a cookie. Okay. So Shawnee says something I've started to do, make creams for the skin. It's one of those things where you order the bulk ingredients once a year and have enough to make exactly, I know. So shea butter wholesale, their shea butter is amazing. So I buy shea butter from them and I buy, cocoa butter from them, and then I don't know if I got beeswax because I make sunscreen too, summer. He he's not really he's being a pain in the butt right now. So, anyway, Okay, I just realized it is 7:20 and I need to turn my brain off, you guys. What a great live stream. I appreciate all of you being here. Again, please share this out. I'm gonna see if I can get Dr. Schultz back on, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about oral health, and then hopefully Dr. Ron will be back next Sunday. I know inflammation is a big, big topic. So by all means, for any of you, if you have anything specific that you want us to talk about, if you have any questions about anything, go ahead and shoot me an email. And the email is, let me drop it here again for you, doc at drruffin.com, and we'll put it on the agenda, and we'll create a show around this for you. So anyway, I hope that was helpful today. And again, I tried to like give you the broad overview, give you a couple of simple things, and then we're gonna talk also as we get a little bit closer to springtime about different tonics and house for bugs for your plant. What can you use that's natural that isn't gonna kill you or kill it? So, okay. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I love you all so much for being here every week, supporting me, supporting my channel. And uh, stem cell injections and regrow hip cartilage. Don't know. I was trying to get back to you on that. Yeah, so Idaho Garden Girl has been reaching out to me. So please, by all means, this is why I'm here. You guys need anything, reach out and I'm here for you. Okay. Yeah, but I didn't know. I did not know. So all right. Thanks so much, you guys. Talk to you soon. Love you.